Switch 2 has been out for less than 2 months and we already have a leak of a new freaking model. This is crazy. I have to bring it to you ASAP. Breaking news of a new look at a Switch 2 model. We don't know what exactly it is, but I've got some ideas. So what's going on, everybody? It's Zach from SwitchForce. Hope you all have a fantastic day out here. Let's take a look. All right, we've got a Switch 2 that we have right now, and we know that there is just one colorway, one model, one frame. This makes it very easy to identify something new because what we've got is what we've got. There aren't multiple colorways. The Mario Kart bundle is exactly the same as the base model, and the new Pokemon Legends XY bundle includes the same original console. So when we see something different, it starts to make people curious, worried, and wonder, like, did I buy a Switch 2 early? Now, couple this with the fact that the OLED screen was huge for the Switch 1 OLED, but the Switch 2 reverts back to an LCD screen. Now, I don't want to get into the semantics of that. I think the Switch 2 screen is phenomenal, but there is a subset of people who are worried, like, this screen isn't as good as it could be, and Nintendo will release an OLED model one day, and we'd rather have that. And maybe we should have had that from the start. Like I said, DK Bonanza looked absolutely glorious, and I'm ecstatic about how it runs and looks on the Switch 2. I have no issues with that screen, but some people are going to start to feel prickly if Nintendo is already working on an OLED model for the Switch 2. But let's take a peek at what this is. But before we do, let me show you the very best memory card for your Switch 2. Now, memory on Switch 2 is a bit of a fickle thing because there's not a ton in the system and your old memory cards don't work. A lot of people are going to get a great price on a Switch 1 memory card. It's not going to work. It needs to say Express, and that's where the Lexar Play Pro comes in. This is the one memory card you want. It comes in huge sizes with a terabyte of storage. That's going to keep a ton of your games safe, secure, and loaded on your system without having to re-download and pick and choose what you want on there. Make sure to click the link in the description down below. This is the fastest, safest, most secure, and one of the only memory cards dedicated to the Switch 2. So check them out every time you click the link. It does help support the channel. And now let's take a look at this Switch 2 frame. All right, this is a white frame for the Switch 2. Now what's interesting here is this is nothing like any other frame for the Switch 2. All right, and this picture is coming from a leak, apparently from a factory. We've seen actually some verbal leaks about this, that there was a new Switch 2 mid-frame, and now we have a picture. And so I wanted to wait till we had actual photo evidence to bring this up to you, and this is, here it is. Like, this is pretty cool. Now, this could be one of the multiple things, right? Option A is, yeah, it is a Switch 2 OLED. I honestly think that's the least likely option, which should make you smile because Nintendo better not be releasing a better Switch 2 anytime soon. And I don't believe they will, right? Nintendo is a smart company. They took their time with that Switch 1 OLED, and releasing a refresh like next year or something would be absolutely bonkers, absolutely insane. Your Switch 2 is safe for a while. I fully believe that. I would put money on it. They are not going to come out and say, oh, we have a better Switch 2 this soon or even next year, probably not even 2027. What's more likely here is that this is a special edition, the first alternate colorway for the Switch 2. Now, like as I mentioned, all we've got is the main model. That's it. And Nintendo has not decided to showcase or show off any special editions. But there's some huge games that we hypothetically have coming down the line that could definitely deserve a special edition console, and they can start their process of making people want to buy multiple Switches, as I'm very guilty of with my Pokemon, my Splatoon, my Animal Crossing. They're just too pretty and cool, and I love too many franchises, and I have too many nostalgic connections. Like, I gotta get these things, and Nintendo knows that. They're gonna start that process far earlier in the Switch 2 life cycle than they would a totally new model, right? A totally new SKU that has an OLED screen, something like that you'd want to upgrade to, like, right, like an iteration, right, a revision. This is just a colorway. That's what I believe. I think this is going to come with either the new 3D Mario game or the new Animal Crossing. They would be silly to not make a dedicated system for those games. Both of them are big enough. Both of them will pull a very huge audience, and both of them will pull a ton of Switch 2 sales from players that were waiting for their favorite game and didn't feel like Mario Kart World or DK Bonanza was enough of calling to spend $500 right off the bat. So I think that this is going to end up being a nice limited edition, a nice special edition, and I think this will come out in 2026. Nintendo is not going to do any special editions, in my opinion, in 2025. That Pokemon Legends XY bundle proves it. They're going to use the base model and let that run its course, and then when they feel like they can get you once more, they know they can't double dip this soon, and when they need kind of a boost and a jolt with a new game, I think they'll make it really exciting. I'm leaning towards Animal Crossing. Mario could get one, but I look at what Nintendo did with the Mario Odyssey stuff on Switch 1. They didn't really make a dedicated console, right? They eventually did the red dock, but that was far later in the life cycle. Early on, it was just like, oh, some red Joy-Con. And I think Nintendo will experiment with different color Joy-Con too. That's definitely a way to make easy money. Although it's a bit interesting because the Switch itself has those inner colors, right? Like we've got the peach, we've got the light blue. Like, how do you have a different Joy-Con unless they always have those colors on the inside, but then they have different colors on the outside? Although that scheme could be kind of offensive to the eyes, like a purple Joy-Con with a peach interior and, you know, a green Joy-Con with a blue interior. I don't know. It's a lot of colors for one Joy-Con. We'll have to wait and see what they do. But do you think this is an OLED model waiting to make people pissed off and wanting to upgrade the Switch 2 that early in its life cycle? Or do you think, like I do, that this is a special edition for either 3D Mario and the 40th anniversary, or if that Animal Crossing game is actually coming sooner rather than later, that's the perfect time. A white Nintendo Switch, could that be sort of like a glitzy, all kind of pristine Mario 40th anniversary branding move? Or is that Animal Crossing coming in with a light-colored console, given that that's what they did with their Switch 1 dock, if you remember Timmy Tommy and the Nook Island sitting there in the corner on that kind of cream-colored dock? It's I don't know. I think it's got to be Animal Crossing because Nintendo doesn't seem to love to do Mario stuff, but I wish it's Mario. A special edition Mario 3D Switch 2 would be, it'd get me. And I hate that, but it'd get me. So let me know your take in the comments down below, everybody. Thanks so much for watching. In the meantime, stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, stay positive out there. Love you lots. SwitchForce out.